It's TEDA time.
Living in Terrebonne, living in Terrebonne. You sure won't want to miss it, and I'll bet that you'll revisit living in Terrebonne.
Local Terrebonne Parish Economic News.
Hello and welcome to this edition of TEDA Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And I always say that wrong. This is Keith M. Whiteside as we welcome in from TEDA, Cohen B. Guidry. Cohen, thanks for joining us again today, my friend.
Thank you for having me back.
And it's appropriate because we learned that from when we get, the first time we get that called out is when we graduate. So when we graduate, it's Keith M. Whiteside and it's Cohen B. Guidry as we welcome in our superintendent for Terrebonne Parish Schools, Bubba Orgeron. Bubba, thanks for joining us, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So it's just one of those things where, you know, we tease. He doesn't get called Cohen B. very often, but on my sheet, it's Cohen B. Guidry. And we have to do it as such. And there's a right way to do things educationally, and I'm so very, very glad to be part of a parish that does that the right way. And so thank you for all of the people that you represent and all the things that happen. And as we're celebrating some good things in our schools and our recovery, and that's a lot to do with all of the hard work that goes into that. So thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. We had mentioned it a little bit. I know we're going to talk about some of the schools and recovery and those kinds of things, but there are people even from out of town. As my siblings come in and they pass by one of the schools that all four of us went to, they pass by and they're noticing these changes, some of these little, maybe seem like little bitty things, but they're positive changes. And so it's nice to be able to celebrate some positive changes around.
That's right, yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
And the school you were talking about was Oaklawn.
Oaklawn, yeah, Oaklawn Junior High School. And so my parents live walking distance from Oaklawn. And I don't know if it's ironic or not, but as soon as I was ready to go to Oaklawn, they put a fence up. So I had to walk all the way around to get in. And I don't know if that was because I needed more exercise or it was just how it happened to be, but that was kind of interesting to me. But yeah, some good things going on with that.
Yeah. So, and I've talked about that one several times, but
yeah.
But we're proud of the work going on at Oaklawn, and look, proud and happy for the teachers, the faculty, the administration, and the kids. It's going to be the next best thing to building a new school is what we're doing.
Right.
And I've often said, you know, we're doing everything from floors, and all these things make such a difference. Just new bright floors, bright paint, and new LED lights transforms a building space immediately. So we're doing all that: lights, floor, ceiling, windows. I think that's kind of what everybody's kind of seeing right now.
Yeah.
So literally, they knocked out an entire wall and replacing the entire wall with one single bank of windows with a new exterior look. We do some exterior brick painting. It's going to have a new roof, new air conditioning, some new canopies. You mentioned fencing. We've even enhanced the fencing that was existing, and we made it really enclosed.
Okay.
You know, really safety fence, project going on there. And then on top of that, we're also in the process of building our first retrofitted vestibule.
Yes.
You know, and a vestibule is simply a room that visitors go into before they go into the main corridors of the school building.
I mentioned that, and my sister said, "Oh, well," I said, "this is a prototype that they're using to be able to see how well that works." And like, who'd have thought that Oaklawn would have been setting the standard for things?
That's right.
And they really are.
Yeah, and we're happy to do that. They needed some attention to the building.
Right.
So, and look, and to top it off, we're going to have this nice entry in the front, but we're going to cement that whole parking lot. That's going to really kind of dress it up a lot. And even some of the details, like we took air conditioning units that were in the front, like in front of all those classrooms, and relocated them to the side so that it's going to be clean, inviting, and just a nice entry to a great school.
Right. And it looks like this wonderful building you want to walk into.
That's right.
Where kids are going to want to go to learn.
That's right.
And so they're working on the they're cementing that front. They're doing that now. And so it's just one of those things. I get to watch the progress.
You get to see all that, right?
One of the schools that I went to, and I'm excited every time to hear about it, but I'm just as excited to see those improvements as we go.
And then the other thing too, and you can see it along Grand Caillou Road, is the exterior of the gym. That's it needs some attention, so it's going to get that attention. So that's going to dress it up a lot.
Yeah, and Cohen, it's going to be exciting to be able to be a part of this. This talks about the partnerships and partnering with our educational system and our schools. That's something that TEDA's, it's big for TEDA.
Oh, it's very big in our world. We think because that's our future. Those individuals, I don't want to call them kids, but they are.
Yeah.
That's making an investment today in everything that we do, whether it's education, whether it's teaching them, life lessons and going and talking with them and interacting with them. It's going to pay great dividends down the road. Those guys are our future. Those kids are.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of to round out this particular segment, I can't believe we talked about one school.
Yeah.
But just those, what seems to be a little change, really brightens the opportunity. We're brightening up the opportunity for all those junior high age kids, where they're just starting to figure out where they want to go, trying to figure out who they want to be.
Right. Good point.
And then they get this opportunity in the school that's completely made over. I mean, it's a brand new school. I liken it to my house. We lightened up our house from darker colors to lighter colors. My house is literally lightened up. That's what's happening at Oaklawn. It's becoming a brand new school.
It's a different energy, right? It's a different vibe, and kids feel it.
Yeah, it's exciting. And you just need to know, Bubba, you need to be excited about the fact that people are noticing, and it's positive notices and changes. So we're going to keep talking about that. And if y'all wouldn't mind, we appreciate you sticking around. Right.
Sure.
Guys, you do that as well. We're going to be right back, right here, this edition of TEDA Time.
It's TEDA time.
Tune in to HTV10 for some TEDA Time. On this show, you will learn what's going on in Terrebonne Parish with Cohen B. Guidry and all of his special guests that he brings along.
Local Terrebonne Parish economic news.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of TEDA Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker. So glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate it as we welcome back Cohen and Bubba. Of course, Cohen with TEDA Time, Bubba, Superintendent of Terrebonne Parish Schools. And just, we talked a lot about Oaklawn because it's just so many things going on. But, man, there's so many projects you guys have going on. I know it's supposed to be the summer where people take a break. Not in Terrebonne Parish School Board.
So a lot's still going on. Yeah. And Keith, that's many people say that, from the storm, it's the silver lining of the storm recovery is
right.
We're able to do a lot of owner upgrades at some of the FEMA work that's going on. And it's getting our buildings in really good shape. So many of them, right? We've done a lot of work at Legion Park.
Right.
And again, when you can replace an air conditioner for a couple $1 million using some federal money, it's well worth it, particularly systems that were on the brink of just being irreplaced, irrepaired.
Right.
So that helped us tremendously. Roofing, air conditioning, again, same thing, fencing projects. I think people have seen kind of what we're planning to do with Terrebonne High.
Right.
That's another major renovation project. We're looking at a $20 million renovation for Terrebonne High. So that's going to be coming. And then you look at South Terrebonne. South Terrebonne's going to be ready in about a year.
Okay.
So the repair job of the main building is going to be about a year from now. So we're hoping at this time next year they're wrapping up so we can have kids in that building for 25-26 school year.
Wow.
So that'll be South Terrebonne done. Ellender is going to be demolished pretty soon. That's coming soon. They'll demolish it, and the plans for the new building has been approved.
Yes.
So that's kind of being worked on now by our architect, Craig Hebert. So Ellender will be rebuilt. South Terrebonne will be majorly repaired and renovated. We'll have a renovated Terrebonne High. Bourgeois had a lot of storm repairs. We did some lighting and flooring. We're going to redo their gym with new flooring. Not new flooring, but we're going to sand it and repaint it.
Right.
Get new bleachers in there. So we'll have 4 either highly renovated or brand new schools for our high school. So kids will be transitioning to just a well-built done building at the high school level. So that we're excited about that.
And so it's really interesting. People who are from out of the area, people who are older in our age group, Cohen, wondering what's going to be happening. And so I'm very glad to get that update because I got asked, my mom and dad, who graduated from Terrebonne, asked me about Terrebonne. One of my best friends, she and I went to school together in junior high. She went off to Ellender. I went off to South Terrebonne and we met up a little later when they changed the schools. She asked about Ellender.
Okay.
And one of my closer friends I play cards with on Sunday nights asked me about HL.
Okay, got it.
So I got all these questions about all 4 of these schools, and now I've got some answers, which is really nice, which is this beautification, renovation, or brand new school coming up. So it's exciting. I'm so very glad that there was the opportunity to be able to do renovation to the existing buildings at South Terrebonne, which is really nice.
Yes.
You know, because that was the question.
And it's a major project.
Sure.
You know, it's a repair project, but we're talking complete gutting of the interior.
Yeah.
So all that's going to be brand new. Redesign of the front office somewhat.
Right,
you know.
right. It needed it, right?
It did.
You know, again, it's much like kind of the work that's being done with the vestibule over in.
Right. So we're going to do some of that, some of the safety features. And then as we know, the gym at South Terrebonne, the competition gym where, you know, that's set off from the school, that's done and being used right now. So we wish it would have been done earlier, but we missed this basketball season, but it'll be ready obviously for next season. So a lot of things going on. That's just to mention a few, right?
That's just tip of the iceberg.
We have things going on at Houma Junior High.
Right.
It needed some work too, right? So we're simple things like the original ceilings are up there, and it's tile that you can't find anymore.
No, sure.
And they're stained, and they're water
spots,
rings,
right?
And you it's so pronounced that you can't even prime it and paint it. You know, it just kind of bleeds through. So we're putting drop ceilings with new LED lighting, new flooring. It needed it. It was dark and dingy, Houma Junior High. So that's another one. We're going to do a major redo of that one. We're doing a major paint job of the entire school interior. You know, and it was a yellow with dark brown floors, and it just felt really closed in. So we're looking to air that out some, you know, with some of the changes, and it needed it.
Yeah, and so what we've learned here from when those schools were originally done is that these color palettes make a huge difference with personality, make a huge difference with whether you feel open or closed, right?
Yes.
And so now that openness to learning, for HL, much like is being done in some of the other schools, we get to lighten things up a little bit.
That's right.
Things a little more airy, more free. But colors can do that.
Colors can do that.
And that's just one of those things.
And another one that's probably worth seeing if we'd want to kind of show pictures of this, you know, later, but is Acadian Elementary. Acadian had some major work done.
Right.
And again, I keep kind of mentioning flooring, but the storm kind of had a lot of water damaged tiles, so we were able to redo all the tiles in that school, paint the interior walls, and it's amazing, and I say this all the time too, but those new LED lights, the difference that makes in a classroom environment, you know. And matter of fact, they're so bright, we had to kind of dial them back.
Right, that's exactly right. That was one of the learning opportunities.
Put them on a middle, and some teachers even on the lower setting. There's like 3 settings.
There's high, middle, and low for that.
Yes, and and look, the bright it was too bright.
Right, a little too much. I can appreciate bright lights and glare because it's just one of those things. We want to make sure that it's enhancing that learning opportunity, not necessarily distracting from it. And so great learning opportunities. It's also good to have those options. Speaking of options, we'll do this one more round if that's okay.
Thing. Sure.
All right, very good. All right, guys, they're going to stick around. You do the same. We'll be right back here on TEDA Time.
It's TEDA Time.
Tune in to HTV10 for some TEDA Time. On this show, you will learn what's going on in Terrebonne Parish with Cohen B. Guidry and all of his special guests that he brings along.
Local Terrebonne Parish economic news.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of TEDA Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining me here, Cohen B. and Bubba Orgeron, talking about all of the wonderful changes and that silver lining that we talked about with all of the things that happened through and with Ida. But there's lots of projects going on still.
Yeah. So the thing that I didn't mention previously, I mentioned Ellender, which is going to be a new build.
Right.
26-27 school year, we're looking to have Upper Little Caillou built and ready.
Wow.
That's our hope.
Yeah.
26-27. So about a 2-year process for Upper Little Caillou and Grand Caillou Elementary. So those are 2 projects that are being designed right now and getting a design approved.
Okay.
The other project is the South Terrebonne Middle School. So we're looking at to build a school right adjacent to South Terrebonne High School on that property right to the north side.
Yeah.
So so that's coming. We have plans for that. The hope is 26-27 for that one as well. So
my goodness.
So we're excited about that. Those are 3 other ones. And then we have even smaller things going on, like tennis court renovations. That's not a big thing, but
it's a big thing
we need that for our kids, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting tennis courts. Every one of our courts are going to get resurfaced.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's not simply painting. It's like a complete surface
there's a
substance
complete overlay
laid over and relined. So that's coming.
Yep.
We're redoing our tracks, not redoing them, but repairing tracks. Some of our tracks, which are very nice tracks.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Those rubberized tracks.
Big investment in those tracks. Well, they deteriorate. So we have some repair jobs going on right now to get them all back up to par.
Sure.
So that's a couple of other things. Another thing we're looking to do is with the sheriff's office and HPD, we're looking to increase the number of SROs in our school.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking to add an additional up to 5 more school resource officers.
Yeah.
That's going to almost get us 100% covered. We'll still have a couple of schools that'll be sharing one.
Okay, right.
So that right now we have some schools that are sharing, 3 schools sharing one. We're looking to reduce that to 1 SRO per 2 schools in some cases.
Right.
Like a Lisa Park and a Broadmoor, they may share an SRO, something like that. You might have a Coteau and an Oakshire that might share an SRO.
Wow.
But we'll have a lot of coverage, and we're looking to invest again in safety of our schools and for our kids.
And again, very important.
Yeah, we really believe in the SRO concept. It's a cost, but we're looking to really enhance.
Well,
I'm sorry, but
go ahead,
just
please.
another thing we're looking to do from a safety perspective, outside of fencing and vestibules and perimeter locks, is parent drop-offs. And I'll use Coteau Bayou Blue. There's Country Stage Drive, right? Parents are currently lined up on Country Stage Drive, and there's very little to no shoulder.
Right.
So they're kind of straddling the side of the road and the shoulder. It's been an unsafe situation for many years. So we're looking to build a drop-off on the property, kind of looping around, like double stacking. We'll probably be able to stack about 75 cars at one time.
Wow.
So we'll take probably all, if not most, of that volume off of Country Stage Drive, and that's going to help alleviate a lot of congestion at that site. And it's a safety thing, right?
Wow.
We've got others we're looking at. Evergreen's another one.
Okay, right. It's there on the highway.
It's right there on the highway, and there's a lot of backup. Parents drop kids off.
Yep,
And they pick them up for various reasons.
Right.
But we've got to kind of account for that. So that's one thing we're doing as well.
They do it for safety, and if you guys can make it much more safe for them, win.
Yeah, that's right.
Win. Now, to be able to do that takes a lot of math skills.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. And we talked about it a little bit before. Let's talk a little bit about this math curriculum.
So we're making a complete change in our curriculum. So we've used Eureka Math for some time.
Right.
And Eureka Math is it's not the math that we've learned with.
Right.
So we're going back to much more traditional math. We're adding numbers and not boxes and all these different mechanisms to count to get to a quotient or a sum, right?
Right.
We're gonna go back to very traditional math, and we're using a program called iReady. It's been vetted by the State Department, and it's been vetted by our teachers. Our teachers gave a lot of input. Matter of fact, we asked them before we embarked on this whole change is, are you ready for a change?
Right. And
You
the
think that
best,
would
the best
benefit,
boards
or
support as
would it
well.
benefit kids?
Right.
Do kids need a change?
Right.
Are we successful in math? That's the bottom line. Are we having good results or average results? And our results have been average with math. We've shown some growth, but we're not where we want to be. So we think going back to tradition, one thing we believe fully is that parents are going to really be able to kind of support kids because it's what we know.
Right. Right.
You know, it's how we learn math, and it's going to be aligned to support kids at home, and we need that. We need parents.
If we want to
help.
engage our parents, we got to do it in a format that they understand.
Right.
You know, so we're empowering both the kids and the parents and that
So
family
we
unit.
think we're going to gain a whole lot more tutors by this change.
Yeah.
With parents,
That's
and we need.
a good
and
thing.
again, we need parents to get with their kids and really support them. You know?
So what I've learned is a great deal of effort in projects and beautification, restoration, and rebuild. Getting back to some things that worked with math, getting parents involved, and bottom line is partnering with places like TEDA and our community to just make our whole area much stronger.
Without a doubt.
And that's where we are. The silver lining is that we're doing this together, and we're finding better processes to do it, and partnerships make it really great along the way. Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for joining us here on TEDA Time.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular edition of TEDA Time. But don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.